Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Cassie Viela, and I'm a realtor, property manager, and investor here in the San Antonio, Texas area. This channel is a place where we talk about real estate, whether it's market updates like we're going to do now, home updates, home maintenance, trends, you name it. If it has anything to do with the San Antonio real estate market, then we talk about it here. So if that's your thing, then make sure you subscribe below. And let's get into our market update for June 8th, 2021. So you can see that the COVID updates are basically what we've been seeing the last couple of months: declining cases, more vaccinations going out, places opening up, things getting back to some level of normal. And so all good news there. So the showings per week, and remember that on this chart, this is sort of that starter home range. So last year, the blue line, I used 100 to 200,000. And this year, the red line, I'm using 125,000 to 225,000 because of the drastic price increases. That's the new sort of starter home price. So just keep that in mind. And so once I've done that, then basically we're exactly where we were last year with showings in that price range, is just pretty much exactly on point. And then with rental showings, same thing. We're just rolling right along. We're a little bit shorter in rental showings this past 1 week. And I believe that that's because we've had severe weather this past week. We've had a lot of thunderstorms and we've had a lot of rain. And I just think that maybe renters are not out looking in really dangerous thunderstorms where home buyers still might be willing to go out in that kind of weather. The home sales are up drastically from this time last year, which is definitely a good sign. We definitely need more supply. And so it's good to see that has increased. We definitely need that to go higher, though. We have more buyers than we have homes. The median price, you can see, is much, much higher than this time last year and still increasing even from April to the first week of June, has increased even just in that short little time span. So the prices are just continuing to rise faster than we really can keep up with. And then, of course, you see the median sales price increasing. And if you look, that last data point, so the top of that spike, is May, because these are always 1 month behind, of course, because we have to gather the data from the last month. So this last median sales price data point is from May, and the one right before that is from April. And you can see from April to May, there is an almost $20,000 increase in the median sales price, which is just incredible. We've had other pretty sharp increases, but I think that I might have to go back and look because that might be the sharpest increase that we've had ever, or definitely recently. And that definitely tracks with anecdotally what's happening in the market. The properties that I listed in March, or even I would say the properties I listed in March and the properties I listed in April and May, even a different market just from that period to that period. I mean, in March, we thought that was already just insane and so hot and such a seller's market, but it got even worse or better, depending on if you're a buyer or seller. But it got even worse and even more tight, and prices went up so drastically just even from April to May. And they've still, we'll have to wait till we get the June data, but anecdotally, again, it feels like that is still increasing. New listings are up from winter time, which is good, but we kind of have stalled. From April to May, there were about the same amount of new listings. So that's not good. We definitely need that to be increasing right now because we've got more buyers in the market. I will say that I think that that green line, that 100 to 225, that starter home that we've been looking at, I think that decrease is more from the fact that a lot of the homes that would be in that line, that would be in that data group over the past year, have now jumped up in price so much that they're now in that teal blue line. So I don't think that it's that there's less starter home or fewer starter homes. I think it's just that the prices are increasing, if that makes any sense. And then we have homes for sale decreasing over the past year. And you can see, I mean, there's a slight uptick there in May, but just ever so slight. You can see that over the past year, we just have fewer and fewer homes for sale. And it's kind of contradicts that other graph where we have more homes selling than last year. So how is the number of homes being sold higher than the homes for sale? And the reason is because homes are just selling so fast. The days on market is so low that even though there are more homes selling, they're selling so fast that at any given point, there are fewer homes for sale on the market, if that makes sense. Pending sales, again, those are down, just the same reason that I just described. There are going to be fewer pending sales if there are less days on market and if things are happening quicker. Median days on market, this is the graph that just gets crazier and crazier, in my opinion. All of those price ranges are under 20 days on market, which is just astonishing to me. The blue line, the dark blue line, if there was a way to take that data out, I would. Maybe I can figure out a way in this program. There's so few properties in that price range at this point that I think that moves around more quickly because there are fewer data points. So I would just completely ignore the dark blue line. But you can see from the other lines that the days on market have drastically decreased, even in that really high price range, well, high for San Antonio price range of the orange line. The price per square foot is increasing, which makes sense because the median price is increasing. And this is the really neat one. So last time when I included this median percent of last list price, I included it for the first time last month. And I was curious because all four of those lines were at 100%. And so I wondered if if this particular software did not allow it to go higher than 100%. But now I know that because this month, the orange line actually is at 100.1%. So properties over 325 are actually going for above list price on average. And that totally tracks with what's going on here that we kind of see, those of us who are in the market here kind of see on a day-to-day basis. My poor buyers that are looking for a property in that price range are going way over asking price, giving all kinds of positive terms to the sellers, just doing everything we can and still losing out. So it's gotten really wild in that price range, which is a newer thing for San Antonio. I think that has typically been the slowest price range, but right now it seems to be the fastest growing. And to me, that's interesting because that really, it can't be blamed on investors because investors are usually buying in that rental home range, which is going to be that 100 to 225, maybe up to 250. But most investors are not going to buy something for over 300,000, unless they're doing maybe a flip or something like that. But that's not a rental home. So those high prices and that demand is being driven by buyers, particularly buyers moving here from other regions. So I hope that all made sense. If you have any comments or if you are in the market yourself and you have some stories to share, then I'd love to hear them. Comment down below. If you have any questions about any of this data or you have any suggestions on data I should or could include, I would absolutely love to hear that. Again, remember to like and subscribe. It really helps me out, and I'll see you next time.